All right, so good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is GTG, Spits That Grease. I'll name this segment later. I know I did that in reverse, whatever. Let's just get right into the situation. Let's just get right into the situation. Okay, so I'm like super behind, which means this is going to go out super behind, which means whatever the situation was, it should eventually come to light. So, but you know, I gotta live up to the moniker over here: always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network of Productions. In any case, March 12th was a fantastically ridiculous day where Darksydephil, for whatever mysterious reason, because at the time that I'm recording this, it hasn't come out yet, has decided not to beg. We didn't have a pre-stream, really. Like, really, he maybe it was like 10-15 minutes to see, just to kind of get people to kind of shuffle on in, which was essentially his idea for the pre-stream all those years ago. It was to get his streams up to about 400 viewers or so, and then he started gameplay. Semantics, for those of you who know, you know. He stuck around for about 10 or 15 minutes just to get people in, then jumps into Call of Duty. The whole point of the Call of Duty session, apparently, was for him to get through the premium event battle pass. Or see, I may be just giving it more emphasis than it really needs. Okay, so you have, it's an event battle pass, but it's the premium one, because there's two. The free one allows you to get a bunch of free stuff as you progress through. The premium one, which is a new thing they started with Black Ops 6, you have to pay $10. $10! That's a whole DoorDash meal for a cat. Well, it's half a DoorDash meal for a cat. Anyway, he would, you have to pay $10 in same progression as the free version. It's just, you get better rewards, basically. And I didn't even know this. You can, if you don't complete the battle pass in time, you can actually pay to get the shit unlocked, which is kind of similar to what I guess all battle passes are for all seasons. No, that's not actually, because now that I think about it, if we just go back with Modern Warfare 3, if you came in at the end of a season, I don't think you can get all of the items in the battle pass. I think you can only get, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know. Because I think the only battle pass that I ever missed out on, at least on my main account, at least for Modern Warfare 3, I should say, DLC, by the way, was Season 1. Yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever missed out on a battle pass, because everything after that, my peoples bought me it, because I was gaming with them anyway, so it worked out, whatever. And then I asked them just to get me the, what is it, the $10 one, which gives you like 1,100 COD points back and whatnot, and you know, it is what it is. So yeah, actually, I don't even know, I'm not even sure. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not even sure how that even plays out. But anyway, but that's semantics. As it pertains to Black Ops 6, as it pertains to these event battle passes, you have your free version of the battle pass, and then you have the event, the premium event battle pass, which you can pay $10, and it's supposed to allegedly give you some better rewards than the free one would. Anyway, DSP, all he did was drop what, 2,400 COD points, which is basically about $20 on the Raphael skin, or Raphael skin, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And then the $10 for the battle pass to get Master Splinter, and that's it. So you basically, if we're going off that logic, you basically gave up $30, or no, you gave up a whole day's worth of begging, potentially $300 as a whole, if not more, or let's just say 300 plus, just to grind out a $30 battle pass, or $30 worth of COD extras and shit, DLC, or microtransactions. That's it? Like, how does that make, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Matter of fact, because it'd be different if he bought all 4 turtles. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, the reason why he didn't buy Michelangelo, which was the one he wanted to buy in the first place, is because he could get the nunchucks, I think, for free during through the event battle pass. And off of that alone, he decided to discard Michelangelo and thought about getting Raphael instead. But then again, you know, DSP kind of models himself as a tough guy. Raphael was always a tough guy because he always had a lot to prove. I thought that gave his character a lot more depth. And then, if you know, if you follow the Turtles lore, he was, most people don't know this, he was initially meant to be the leader. He was just way too hot-headed. Leonardo was way too undecisive. He's more prone to questioning himself. Michelangelo is obviously too immature, and Donatello is too caught up in his own shit. Like he wouldn't be able to stay focused and follow his pursuits. So theoretically, Raphael would have made sense, but they gave it to Leonardo because Raph couldn't keep his temperament together. Anyway, that's just some interesting shit. In any case, so he gave up. He basically decided to grind out $30 worth of shit, or try to get his money's worth out of $30 worth of shit, instead of go for the 300. There's a bunch of theories. All right, there's a shitload of theories. Some people think because he got buck broken, or piggy buck broken, or piggy snort broken, whatever. Because PPP ain't giving his ass the business and whatnot. They think that's what ended up. That might be one of the main causes on why he's having this damn near nervous breakdown. But truth be told, the day before that, he was talking about having a midlife crisis, or people who go through a midlife crisis. And he's not like that. And he's glad he's not being weighed down by the responsibility of children and all this bullshit. And him and Kat have already come to the decision that they didn't want kids, yada, yada, yada. Truth be told, if you look at The Office, you look at his setup, you look at all of the emphasis and all of the money that he put into his new setup, that sounds like and or looks like a midlife crisis, to be honest. That's exactly what it seems like. So I don't know where he's going with that. Some people think it's Kat. Some people think that Kat wants a divorce. Some people think they're already in the early cycles or the early stages of a divorce. Some people think the reason why she wants a divorce is because she's tired of PPP and other people making fun of her and clowning her for her weight. Matter of fact, big ups to Snort Burnell. Snort Burnell put out a video. It was literally like yesterday, I think, or whatever, in my timeline, where Snort Burnell starts off with a divorce situation. Someone asked DSP this question, and DSP said, well, actually, DSP, I think, answered the initial divorce question the day before. And then he decided to readdress it this particular day. But his response is off. Like, he didn't give his obnoxious, you know what I'm saying, we're not getting a divorce, you know, whatever. He kind of just said, no, we're not getting divorced, and then he just slugged himself back into his usual bullshit. Like, he looked defeated, to be honest, in a situation where if it's really on the up and up, you shouldn't have a problem with. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, rule number 1 is Darksydephil lies about everything. Rule number 2, that DSP on a long enough timeline will always end up telling the truth on himself. You give DSP enough rope, he'll hang himself. Ironically enough, that same rule applies in girl world too. You guys are keeping up with the nonsense that's currently developing over in that hellhole. So it's still entertaining though. But so there's that. So Kat has a bunch of reasons to leave. A lot of reasons maybe she should leave, but yet again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to take shots at one of my peers at alt and whatnot, and saying and whatnot. He likes his white knighting and whatnot, and I respect that. You do what you got to do, man. But she's not leaving. As bad as her situation is, and as in all of the negative repercussions that has come from her decision making, getting in bed with Phil in the first place, however brief that was, choosing to move in with him, marrying him, this, that, and the third. Those were all decisions that she made. And truth be told, she's too compromised, she's too complacent, she's too comfortable where she's at. If she really wanted to lose the weight, she would. If she really wanted to go out and get a better job, if she really wanted to further her education, if she really wanted more out of life and get that trip to Japan and do traveling and all that shit, she would push for it. In the same way PPP buck broke DSP, theoretically, DSP has buck broken Kat. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? And you can call me brutal, you can call me a nihilist, you can call me an asshole, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? Deep down in all of your souls, you know it's true. Deep down in Alt's soul, big ups to him, Alt, and that being said, by the way. But deep down in his soul, he knows it too. You know what I'm saying? We all know it. Okay? We all know it. But anywho, big ups to Alt, and that being said. Big ups to them. But there's no need for, or no reason for Kat to leave. Now let's start getting into one of my favorite segments of this. Let's get into This hypothetical pignosis, our favorite game, and let's get into some swine crafting, should we? Let's get into some gout crafting, some snort crafting, if you will. Mwah. Mwah. Now, as we start getting into some of these theories, gone over two. PPP buck breaking, cat might leave him. She's certainly unhappy, but semantics. Truth be told, let's go with the parent angle. Let's go with Dave and Linda for a minute. Now, getting up there in age. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, Linda's been fighting off illness for a number of years. Maybe they're getting, like I said, maybe they're getting up there in age. Health is possibly failing. That right there sounds like a really good place to start. On top of that, what's the living situation going to be if they do become too sick? We don't want to be like, you know, our lesbian gout-ridden aunt. We don't want that situation for mommy and daddy. So what are we going to do? Put them in a home? That's going to be expensive. That's going to be expensive. Even if DSP and Melissa sell the home, take all of the money that's left in the estate and whatnot, they would have to probably use that for all of the medical bills, for retirement or hospice care, whatever unpaid credit cards or whatever debt that you know, Linda and Dave may have. That's going to get swamped out. So someone's going to have to take care of them. Now, Melissa sounds like the better choice, but what if it falls on Phil? Phil's the one with the larger house. He theoretically has the room. I don't know what Melissa's situation is. You know what I'm saying? I'll have to talk to Meth Bear or whatnot. Big ups to Meth Bear. I'll have to speak to someone like that, find out what he knows. But you know what I'm saying? Like, theoretically, Phil is the one with all of he kind of has the situation that would make it comfortable for that to happen. Theoretically. So what if it's that? What you know what I'm saying? What if Dave and Linda are wanting to sell their home and maybe they decide to go ahead and move further down south or something, a nice little comfortable retirement? Or what if they're like, you know, hey Phil, we're getting up there in age and shit, maybe we should come and stay with you. Who knows? Even if it's only for, you know, the time it takes to sell the home, and then they can kind of figure out what they're gonna do. They can always put all their stuff in storage and just pack some clothes and shit and just fly out that way. So, you know, grown man bars are something that everybody's got to deal with. So what would DSP have to do, or what would he do if his family is sick? If they're looking at retirement, if they're looking at moving? What's he gonna do there? And God forbid, one, Linda, Dave, or both are sick, maybe Phil's gonna need to go out there and actually handle some responsibilities. Maybe he's gonna have to take on some extra, you know, he's their son, their only surviving child. Because Melissa's really more of like an adoption, really, so to speak. So, you know, something needs to happen, something needs to work out. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and also address, even though I have an independent video all for this, all of this nonsense and drama has been simmering, I should say, since March 7th. Keep in mind, we're talking about the 12th currently. But on the 7th is when DSP came out here with this pity pat story about how he has a bunch of stress going on behind the scenes with him and Kat and everything else. Didn't want to really talk about it, but he just wanted to let people know that he is going through some shit. He's not going to tell them. It's personal. Fuck all these detractors, trolls, haters, and critics trying to pry into his business. He deserves to have a personal life of his own. And that's what he's going to do, but he wants to let them know just in case his mood or his temperament or his attitude somehow comes out on stream. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, there'll be a video that will come through for this one. But truth be told, he was just priming them for tax time. Any of you who have been around for any period of time, any of you who watch Snort, Burnell, Memology 101, Mighty D certainly, and whatnot, even though they've kind of just gotten back into the fray. You watched any clip channel or whatnot, especially at this time of year, it's always taxes. He's always looking to prime them for prime begging when it comes to taxes, without fail. That's what that is. Now, of course, he'll go ahead and throw unnecessary stress in there. He'll throw illness. He'll throw whatever he can to get these idiots to give him money so he can pay his taxes and plus have a little bit of extra after the fact. We all know that. It's a given. We all understand how DSP's tax payment plan works. Plus the $1,200 a year, that he has to pay his tax prep, the person who prepares his taxes. And how he doesn't pay him the $1,200 a year, the $1,200, you know, right up front. He pays him $100 over the span of a year. So he's almost always in debt to that guy. So there's that. This right here may very well just be compounding onto that. You know what I'm saying? He may be stressed out or whatever to continue to commit to the bit. For all we know, he's already started it on the 7th. So why not? So there's that angle. Now there's a few other things I'd like to bring up before we close up shop. Excuse me. For one, DSP has been featured on Kick, the front page, I should say, a few times, right? Does this mean he's getting closer and closer to the contract or to a contract? I don't know. But PPP brought it up on the last Grill Phil segment that, hey, you have appeared on the front page a couple times. Was PPP behind that? Did PPP help, reach out to whatever and say, hey, promote this guy. He has the consistency, this, that, and the third. These are some of the same talking points that PPP brought up to DSP. And DSP said, yeah, like they want to see some loser who only streams to like 40 people on Kick or whatever. He's really going to put butts in seats and draw. But looking back at it, looking at our current situation, it does make me think. You know what I'm saying? Did PPP say, hey, you may be in position to get a contract, not a big contract, a small contract, little teeny contract, something that you're used to, Phil. Teeny, tiny, small, penne contract. Small contract. You know what I'm saying? Or you're making some headway and people are starting to notice you. Maybe that's what it is that's caused DSP not to go ahead and be begging or whatever. Is it that maybe, just maybe? Because at this point, I put up 2 videos, one talking about the Twitch monetization, the new Twitch monetization. And then I think whatever the follow-up video was to it kind of spoke on that or touched upon that, and then we went a little bit further. Is that a thing? Is it that he's trying to ramp himself up and get himself cleaned up, if you will, to try to, getting ready to go back to Twitch? You could go a couple of different ways with it, depending on how you want to play your angles. Excuse me, I apologize. So take that for what you will. There's a bunch of great theories out there and whatnot. There's a bunch of fantastic theories. I just got invited into a Discord. I've been lurking around a little bit. There's some interesting stuff being said in there, to be honest with you. It could go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It could go anywhere. DSP, for all intents and purposes, excuse me a second. DSP, for all intents and purposes, has had a pretty rough 10 days or so, maybe a little more, a little less. You have the situation with Strangely Lex and their girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? The Iron Cuck Sakai situation, the death threat nonsense. DSP was incensed at the idea that detractors were making money off it, on top of trying to blame detractors, trolls, haters, and critics for it being a gay op. The Grill Phil situation with PPP. DSP is coming to the conclusion very quickly that this PPP Kino Casino stimulants package is, that's the great way of describing it. The Kino Casino PPP stimulants package is about to dry up. He doesn't have all the options that he thinks he does. The whole revolution and whatnot, the resurgence, I should say, of popularity was a fluke. It wasn't even a fluke. It was a joke. It was a delusion. It never happened. It wasn't a thing. There's a lot of pressures on him. There's a shitload of pressures. YouTube in itself, he's not making any money off ad revenue like that. So, excuse me, that's not helping. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely spent more than what he brought in, and didn't save not a lick of it for his taxes, obviously. He's in a bad spot. He's fundamentally in a bad spot. And it's this time of year where you usually see this type of panic. This isn't anything new, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it is that caused the no begging bullshit. I have some theories. I'll hold off on that for right now because I don't particularly know. I gave some of those theories up already. But who could say? You know what I'm saying? Who could say? Someone he may have caught wind of something that may have freaked him out or whatever the case may be. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that's got some of the theories out. Excuse me. And they're saying that it has something to do with the IRS. Someone at YouTube is watching them. Excuse me. That the situation with Lex may have involved the police in some way, shape, or form. Maybe she's looking to press charges and whatnot. Maybe DSP has been approached on. There's a bunch of different things. And truth be told, whether they come to fruition or not, whether those are the actual prime reasons for what happened on the 12th, doesn't mean anything, because all of those theories still can be valid to ongoing problems that are going on behind the scenes that DSP isn't telling us anyway. So what I'm saying is, whatever theory that you may have or you may hold, don't discount it. it could easily come into fruition in some way later on down the line. So keep putting your theories out there. Keep swine crafting, snort crafting, gout crafting, or whatever the case may be, because yet again, in the vortex, you know what I'm saying, or in the snort text, or whatever you want to call it, anything can really happen here. The swine text actually sounds pretty good too. Anyway, anything can happen. You know what I mean? And also, and this is kind of the most important part, whatever DSP's excuse will initially be, it's probably going to be a lie anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just to cover up for something else. Because he's definitely keeping track, as well as other people, of some of the theories and stuff that's being said on the farms, on Detractor Twitter, in videos, and so on and so forth, in different discords or whatever. DSP ain't out here to try to give a win. He doesn't want to concede to anything. So whatever he tells you is more than likely going to be a lie anyway. So keep that in mind. Anyway, this is me just kind of putting it out there. Big ups to the people who have actually kind of sent me some stuff and whatnot. I haven't got a chance to look at it yet, but I appreciate it. And I'll run through it. You know what I'm saying? Why not? And we'll see what's what and everything like that. Big ups to all of you guys for giving me a chance to kind of just hear me out and whatnot. Won't hold you any longer. Because this is gonna have to be rushed out anyway for whatever reason. Because I ain't waited till the last minute, because that's what I do. And life comes at you fast. And you know, just take care of yourselves. I'll catch you on the next one. Speaking of which, real quick, before actually I let you guys go, give me a second. I gotta put this out there, because it happened maybe a couple of videos ago, and someone brought it up. The guy who watches the comment section for us kind of brought it to my attention. If something's going on with your comments, if they're getting deleted or whatever, I don't have, nor has the person that I have instructed to watch comments. I don't have any filters. There is none of that. If your comment does get pushed into a queue or gets flagged or whatever, that's why I have someone that watches the comment section. If it gets thrown into the holding section, it goes in, it gets approved, and it comes back up. Or if you put a comment and you don't see it later on, go to there's an option when you're looking through the comment section, like I think it's like the recent ones or whatever. There's an option there where you can flip it. You might see your comment there. I don't know why it gets put there, but it happens sometimes. If it's being held for whatever reason, we'll put it out and whatnot. Anything else, that's on YouTube's end. You know what I'm saying? Let me reiterate this. Same thing I said many, many years ago. Nothing's changed. We don't delete comments here. You know what I'm saying? If your comments are being deleted, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? It's my ship. I'll take the hit for it. But we don't delete comments here. It's not a thing. Never has been. You know what I'm saying? Take your shots at me. Take your shots at Phil. Take your shots at whoever. But we don't delete comments here, man. You know what I'm saying? And that goes out to whoever. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you bringing it to our attention, but we don't delete comments here. It's just not a thing. and it don't help. Deleting comments does not help anybody. You know what I'm saying? I put these out here to get engagement, to get people's opinions. It doesn't do, you know what I'm saying? Being heard is one thing, but getting a response is another. So that's not a thing. Like I said, if it's happened, I apologize, but that's not on us. You know what I'm saying? I have somebody specifically on the comments for that reason. So I'm not quite sure. Like I said, you know, my apologies, but it ain't me. You know what I'm saying? You know, it ain't me. Wouldn't be. So that's the thing. And I trust the person that I have that watches that. So it's not them either. So it is what it is on that. In any case, and whatnot, thank you guys very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, etc., etc., etc. Thank you guys for all the names and whatnot. Keep them coming. You know what I'm saying? I have a plan. I have an idea. So just, you know, anytime that something pops into your noodle, send it my way. And big ups to Chia. You can thank them for the what you're seeing on screen and whatnot. I thought it was appropriate and whatnot. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.